Hello, my name is Mwangi Wajumbe, a professional trainer on strategy, performance management, sheet management, and also leadership. I also write widely on the same areas. I have been published in a magazine called Small and Medium Enterprise Today on a monthly column which lasted 5 years, that is from 2013 to 2018. I retired from the column when I became very involved on issues to do with the school system. As I wrote that column, I developed serious interest in research because you cannot repeat what you wrote last month or even the previous years. So you can imagine writing 60 different articles on a monthly basis must involve a lot of thinking process, especially when the column is on strategy. Now, today, I would like us to discuss a challenge that is affecting the school system to do with drugs based on questions that have been raised in the recent past by a number of principals, and I felt it's good to clarify the issue, though I have basically dealt with issues dealing with the school system or challenges affecting the school system through two lengthy interviews that happened in January this year and were posted on my YouTube channel, and they can easily be referred to. But the issue of drugs, I would like to look at it from a different or separately compared to the holistic issue of indiscipline in schools, and where do the process of drugs start? Based on statistics from NACADA, before the advent of coronavirus pandemic, we had learned that 22% of students aged 14 to 25 in the school system are addicted to drugs. That means 2 out of every 5 students are addicted to drugs in this country. And I think that is quite worrying, having our future leaders being in that kind of situation, because some may recover, some may never recover. We may lose some of them for good. Now, what causes this problem of drugs? As I have discussed in previous presentations, the school system up to now is driven by 20th century dynamics, or the mentalities of the 20th century, where it is about getting educated and eventually acquiring or assuming that one will acquire lucrative jobs, as was the case in the 20th century. So we are in the 20th century mentally, but physically in the 21st century. And mind you, we are in the third decade of the 21st century. And thinking the same way we were thinking in the 20th century is not healthy. And in fact, that is why more than 50% of our graduates are unemployable. Not unemployed, I mean unemployable, because people who are properly empowered, they are easily able to secure jobs or create their own. And also, note that more than 80% of people who are employed, they are dispassionate about the work they do. So chances are that the ones who get employed a lot of times join the more, the graduates who get employed a lot of times join the more than 80% who are dispassionate about what they do. So the problem of dispassion continues. Now, about drugs, the school system students go through 5 stages of making choices. And as they go through the 5 stages of making choices, research has indicated that more than 90% of students make the wrong choices because of being influenced by the thinking of the 20th century when we are in the 21st century. And once they make those mistakes, they end up losing strategic direction. And they also develop poor attitudes and consequently also a poor learning culture. The next thing that happens is that they get confused, they get stressed because of that situation. And when they get stressed, they end up now trying to look for solace or trying to look for ways and means of solving those problems of stress affecting them. A lot of times, many of them will venture into getting addicted to something, and initially they will get addicted to something like tea, and it goes on. They get addicted to Panadol, still trying to relax as they continue facing their challenges. And over time, they end up venturing into hard drugs or narcotics. And some of them will end up becoming wasted. Others will end up recovering, but majority actually becomes waste. Now, so when in school, they are trying to run away. They are venturing into drugs in order to run away from the stress that they are going through as they continue being pumped with the knowledge that will lead them now to getting good jobs once they finish school. And once they get out of school, those problems continue. Some of them will continue being in those situations of getting addicted to drugs. And over time, it is good to realize that when people do not have the right strategic direction, they end up into something called scarcity mentality, believing that they cannot get what they want. And any which way that they can get what they want becomes welcome. And that scarcity mentality will lead them into anything, drugs, corruption, and many other negativities that affect the society. Now, it is good to take care of these problems at the formative stages when they are still in school so that they don't end up into negativity after school or into negativity as they continue with school, as that of being involved in drugs, which has now even reached stages of even banning schools, as we have experienced in the recent past. Now, how is that problem of drugs sorted out? In my view, we have had experiences in schools when we are asked to go and help schools to deal with issues that are involving poor attitudes. We know exactly how those poor attitudes come up. We know exactly that when there is no strategic direction, poor attitudes will be in place, also poor reading culture, and of course, loss of strategic direction or poor focus. And the main thing is to help students to get aligned with the thinking of the 21st century, whereby it is about aligning them with their natural orientations as the thought process of the 21st century is aligned. All of us are good at something. All of us are naturally aligned to something. That is what we should nurture, and that is what schools should do. CBC is already doing that up to class 5. I think they are now up to class 5, and that will continue even when they venture into secondary school, both junior secondary school and senior secondary school. And I think it will still continue even when they venture into university. Why? The CBC has aligned, or the aim of the CBC is to align the students with their natural orientations during their empowerment process. So those in the 844 system are not an exemption. They should also be aligned with their natural orientations because they also belong to the 21st century. And once that is done, we have people having the right direction, or the right strategic direction, right focus, right learning culture, and positive attitudes, and they end up avoiding venturing into drugs and other negativities while in school and well as out of school. Those issues have been very well highlighted in our publications. The first one, titled Career Dynamics in the 21st Century, whose sub-theme is Unleashing the Human Performance Potential, and the advancement publication titled Living Beyond Survival. Sub-theme is No More Tiptoeing in Life. And schools which have acquired those books and they are used well, especially by guidance and counseling teachers and other serious educationists, they are able to see where the issues of negativity emerge from, and they are able to sort them out. Schools that are using them well, they are doing well, they are doing performance actually continues improving in schools, and eventually, even after school, the students continue being aligned with their direction in life, and more particularly, their purpose in life, because we all have a purpose in life. It is possible to get more from me, more details, also through our seminars, and of course through the books. But in case of more need for more information, you can contact me on 0772 516210 or 0722 516210. More still, you can get access the YouTube of Mwangi Wajumbe. Also, he's on Facebook by the same name, and I'm sure you get a lot of information that could be helpful, not only for our future leaders, even for ourselves, as long as we are living in the 21st century. Thank you so much and have a very good day.